Thank you all for coming here today. My name is Anastasia Yaki-Good, and we're here for the talk on cherishing your employees, alleviating stress, boosting productivity, and lowering healthcare costs through chair massage. So I am the owner of Healing Hands Therapeutic Massage, and I've been a licensed massage therapist for about 6 years. My company does a mix of different kinds of massage. We do the traditional, table massage with oils, and we also do corporate chair massage. And we do chair massage for some companies I'm sure you'll recognize. We do for large multinational companies, and we've also done it for a 3-person law firm. Something I just want to really get across is how passionate I feel about chair massage and how well it works for alleviating stress. I mean, I've seen this in my own life, and it just makes me so happy to be able to provide this to other people who are in workplace situations where they're stressed and need some stress relief. I got interested in massage, ironically, from being at the opposite end of the spectrum, namely, I was in advertising for about 10 years. I was traveling around a lot. There was no corporate wellness program in place. There was a lot of stress. And when the recession happened, I really started thinking a lot about what I wanted to do career-wise, for the rest of my life. And I realized a couple things. I really enjoy working with my hands. I wanted to be my own boss. And, I really, really enjoy helping people. So, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So I just want to let you guys know I feel very passionate about chair massage, and I'm excited that you're here, and that I'm excited to share with you some ways that you can help alleviate stress with your employees through this program. So as we get started, I have a commitment, a 3-part commitment to you guys. First part today is that I will not bore you. You guys have given an investment of your time to be here today, and I really greatly appreciate that. And I want to respect that time by giving you guys the information that you came here for in a way that will hopefully be a little entertaining and won't put you guys to sleep. Second is no industry jargon. Aside from ROI, return on investment, which I think everybody knows, I just want to give you guys the information in using examples, like real life examples, because that's how I learn best. And then the last part is that by the end of this talk, you all are going to have 3 action items that you can bring back to your companies that are going to help you be able to implement chair massage programs either as part of your existing wellness program or as a standalone program. So I've committed these 3 things to you. One thing to ask of you guys, which is, please don't multitask. If I could have everyone please turn off their cell phones right now. Multitasking is the best way to do 2 jobs poorly. The brain actually can't register efficiently a switch between one task and the other. So it's ironic, but multitasking actually ends up being detrimental to productivity. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys in advance. So let's get started with the burning question that I'm sure is on everybody's mind, which is, why do we need chair massage in the workplace? We'd be wasting time, money, and effort to implement any program just because. What are some good reasons? Oh, by the way, I give out candy for participation. What are some reasons you might think of, but just off the top of your head, why chair massage might be a good idea? Yes?
Stress.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. And you actually, that is the #1 reason. Anyone else?
Fatigue.
Fatigue, absolutely, yeah. Spending all day in the same place, definitely. Sitting down, well, the #1 answer actually, our guest gave it to us right off the bat. It is alleviating workplace stress. Stress is defined as a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. And alleviating workplace stress is going to be the root of solving all the other problems that we're going to talk about that stem from stress. There's actually 3 kinds of stress. There's physical, chemical, and emotional. Physical stress is going to be the fact that most of the time, all day, we're in what position? Yes, we're hunched over our desks. And that can, definitely cause stress. There's also chemical stress, and usually people will think right away of, like an allergy, a food allergy, or an allergic reaction to a medication. And that's true, but also chemical stress can be the paint on the walls, it can be the dye in our clothing, it can be even in the products that we use, our beauty products. Unfortunately, some of these products, some of the ingredients have been shown to be carcinogenic in large amounts. So all of that can cause stress in our bodies. And then the final component of stress that probably most of us think of when we think about, stress as a whole is going to be emotional stress. And of course, that's going to be sadness, anger, fatigue, loneliness. So those are the kinds of stress. So all of us have stress in our lives to one degree or another. And Hans Selye is considered to be the father of modern stress psychology. He wrote a book in the 70s called Stress Without Distress. And he has a great quote, which I love, which is, "It's not stress that kills us, it is our reaction to it." And if you think about it, stress is it's very individualized. Can somebody give me an example of something that is really stressful for them?
Finances.
Okay, yeah, doing your finances, absolutely. So in the audience, raise your hand if like doing finances, crunching the numbers, stresses you out. Okay, now hands down. How many of you guys love doing finances, love crunching numbers, math is your thing? Okay, so what's stressful to probably most of the audience wouldn't be stressful to a certain part of the audience. And I'll give you another example, and it's a situation that would, without a doubt, be stressful, like to anyone. It's something that's happened recently in my family. 2 weeks ago, my grandmother, she's aging, and we had to put her into an assisted living facility. And, she has 5 children. And so you have one extreme, which is my mother, who's going and she's organizing everything and, getting the keepsakes and, trying to figure out who wants what. And then, you have my aunt who is, just kind of, quiet, and she's very stressed, but, her way of dealing with the stress is just to be very quiet about it. And then, the other siblings kind of fall in the middle. So there we can see a situation which would definitely be stressful, but people react to it in completely different ways. But where work is concerned, stress is really bad. And so without stress, so just to give some positives, imagine if there were no stress in the workplace. I know it's hard, but productivity would increase greatly. I mean, you can do more when you're less stressed and your mind isn't being pulled in a million different directions, or multitasking. Also, sick days decrease. When you have less stress, your body is better able to fight off disease. And to be honest, who's going to call in sick if they know that chair massage is being offered that day at the office? Also, morale goes up. When you get a massage, and we'll talk about this more in a minute, but you're in a better mood, you're more focused, you're actually more pleasant to work with. Also, without stress, healthcare costs decline. And that's key. As mentioned, massage has been shown to boost your immune system. So you're not only going to spend less time home from work, you're also going to spend less time in the hospital. And so that's important because we all know healthcare costs these days are just crazy. So all of these things that I've listed here, if we could have a workplace without stress, ultimately they have a positive effect on what? That's all right. What's that? Well, productivity. Okay, that's a good guess. Well, actually, they have a positive effect on the bottom line. Every company exists ultimately at the end of the day to make a profit. And so if you're able, without stress, to have more productivity, less people being sick, people in a better mood and more productive, and healthcare costs going down, then definitely you're going to be able to, create more money. So I like this cartoon. We always talk about the work-life balance, and this is hugely, hugely important. But especially for millennials, actually. Millennials in the audience, yeah, you guys always talk about work-life balance. Here's what most of us actually end up doing. When we're at work, we're thinking about, oh, I'd really like to be out doing other things. And then when we have free time, we're thinking about, oh shoot, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do that. So it's very ironic. And how many of you guys are guilty of that?
Yep.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm not going to reward you for that. We all right. So the human body was never meant to operate under constant, prolonged, low-level stress. To illustrate that, let's go back in time. And this is Ugg, the caveman. So as long as Ugg has a cave over his head and he has, food in his belly, Ugg's stress level, if this is the baseline, Ugg's stress level is, pretty low. However, Ugg goes out walking one day and sees a saber-toothed tiger. Well, Ugg's stress levels spike like crazy, the fight or flight response. But very quickly, one of two things is going to happen. Either the saber-toothed tiger is going to kill Ugg, or Ugg is going to kill the saber-toothed tiger. Either way, stress is gone. So the way that we were meant to operate was this: baseline, 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 stress, and over. However, what has ended up happening is the following. We have modern stress, which is low level, constant, and chronic. So our baseline is more like this. And sure, we'll have spikes and then it goes back down. And unfortunately, it's so bad for us. If you think about it, human civilization Ugg is from about 1.5 million years ago. Human civilization started about 6,000 years ago. So we're actually wired to deal with stress Ugg's way. We're not wired to deal with constant low-level stress. So what does stress do to the human body? Really, really bad things. You can read some about this as I talk. Raise your hand if you sit at a desk the majority of the day. Yes. Oh, there's a lot of you. Okay. Well, whoop. That wasn't a very good throw. There you go. There you go. Yes, a lot of you sit at your desks all day. So when we have this stress in our body, it's releasing hormones like, adrenaline, everybody knows what that is. Also, like cortisol is a stress hormone. But these things, since we're sitting all day, Ugg didn't sit around all day. We are sitting at our desks all day. And what that does is when these hormones are released, they end up kind of stagnating and like hanging around in our bodies. They're not flushed out because we're not as active as we used to be. You see moms and kids and everywhere that walk, slow down, because the kids are running all over the place. That's kind of our nature. And then as we get older, we just sort of kind of calcify into this person that sits at our desk. And that's really bad. When that happens and when those hormones can't get flushed out of our bodies, then all these things start to happen. So if we stay sedentary, it's really bad for us. So how can we deal with the constant stress that we face in the modern world? Well, the answer to that is workplace wellness programs. By show of hands, how many of you work in a company that currently has a corporate wellness program? Okay, good. Okay, awesome, good. Actually, can anyone guess how many percentage of Fortune 500 companies today have wellness programs?
40%.
Actually, it's a lot more than that.
I was going to say 80%.
You got it right on the nose. It is 80%, yes. And so they're doing, it's definitely here to stay. So when you Google the word wellness, this is, I put in definition of wellness, and this is what comes up: the state or condition of being in good physical and mental health. But what's below it kind of blew my mind, and it's in quotes, and strangely enough, I could never find out who it was attributed to, so I'm not sure why it's in quotes, but it says when you come right down to it, stress affects every aspect of wellness. And that is so true. So let's look at that for a moment as it pertains to the workplace. So according to the American Institute of Stress, or the AIS, stress costs U.S. businesses annually. Before I get to that number, let's talk about what this annual cost entails. All right, it has decreased performance, productivity, quality, but there's more. Also, more accidents and injuries when you're stressed. There's going to be increased healthcare and workers' comp costs, of course, as a result of the injuries, and higher levels of absenteeism and employee turnover. So taking into account those factors, does anyone want to guess in dollars how much stress costs U.S. businesses on an annual basis?
$1 billion.
$1 billion. Well, actually, that's funny because my next slide is Dr. Evil. It's a little more than that. It's an insane number. Like I couldn't even wrap my head around it. Stress actually costs U.S. businesses annually $300 billion. And to put that in perspective, 1 billion seconds is almost 32 years. So basically 300 billion seconds is 9,513 years. So $300 billion, just, it's a crazy number. So why is that number so high? Well, for starters, stress leads to accidents. 60 to 80% of accidents on the job are stress related. Also, about a third of all workers' comp cases are attributed to stress at work. Think about all the associated healthcare costs with that. Additionally, stress leads to employee turnover. 14% of workers have said that stress causes them to quit or change jobs in the last 2 years. And also, stress accounts for 40% overall of job, like when people are doing exit interviews and they're, why are you leaving this company? Well, about 40% of it, they estimate is actually due to stress. So, just to replace an average employee costs, actually, does anyone want to take a guess? It depends, it varies a lot by industry, but anyone want to take a guess on the cost just to replace an employee?
$10,000.
All right, well, you're in the range, actually. It's anywhere from $3,000 to $13,000. So, wouldn't it be better to just keep that employee instead of having to go through the hassle of replacing them? So let's look back at just a few other statistics about the financial cost of stress in the workplace. So there was a Gallup poll of more than 200 US corporations, and it revealed that 60% of all managers felt that stress-related illnesses were pervasive among their workers. Now, I can think of a couple managers that might be the cause of some of the stress. Surely none of you. Then the result is actually decreased productivity. You're going to have 16 days of sick leave annually, and also $9,000 per person per year. Also, in 2014, a Nielsen study showed that 8 out of 10 American workers said that they were stressed out by at least one thing at work during the year. Does anyone want to guess how that compares to the previous year? Just numbers wise, if it was more, if it was less?
So it was definitely more.
More, well, actually I had, my $300 billion, this isn't quite as dramatic. It was actually, unchanged. It was about 83% in 2013, 83% in 2014. All right, so according to the Journal of Occupational and Environmental Medicine, healthcare expenditures were nearly, and again, does anyone want to guess how many percentage higher for stress, workers report high levels of stress?
50%.
Hey, right on the money. Yes, 50%. And also, incidentally, that follows the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. About 80% of your healthcare expenditures typically come from about 20% of your employees, but that's another story. So Franklin Covey, no, actually we'll go back. Okay, one second here. Franklin Covey said, the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, states that up to 75% of all time lost in the workplace is due to stress. So clearly, stress is a problem and very costly. But, why chair massage? I mean, why not just give employees extra breaks or, less work? That probably won't happen. Well, that's actually the reason that chair massage works so well to help alleviate the effects of stress is what happens inside of your body when you get a massage. So when you have a day like this, and that is a work tsunami, by the way, and then you get on the chair, just 10 minutes of chair massage decreases the physical and emotional effects of stress dramatically. I mean, massage, even a really short one, works wonders within the body. It takes us from, fight or flight to this relaxed mode. And so some of the things that happen when we're getting a massage is that our heart rate and our breathing rate slow down, start to really relax. Also, our blood pressure drops in a good way, nobody faints, which also is part of the relaxation response. And additionally, the production of stress hormone decreases. So the cortisol and the adrenaline and all of that starts going down. Also, our muscles that we've had clenched all day start to relax. And then, very importantly, our production of serotonin begins. So serotonin is the body's feel-good hormone. If any of you guys ever work out and you have had like the runner's high, that's like a flood of serotonin into your system. So massage doesn't flood it in like that, but it's like a nice steady trickle, and all of that helps the body to relax, and it positively affects emotions and thoughts. So basically, massage helps shift the body from fight or flight to rest and digest. But the physical manipulation of the tissue during the massage actually has an effect as well. Think of a sponge at your kitchen sink. So you want to wash dishes. The first thing you're going to do is add water to the sponge. Why? So that the sponge can become pliable and twists and turns, and you can use it in the way that it's meant to function optimally. So our muscles, it's a very similar thing. Our muscles are very vascular, and vascularity means that they have a lot of blood constantly flowing through them. But when we're sitting like this all day at our desks, that blood flow can get constricted, and then what happens is, it's like water drying up out of the sponge. Once we're done washing the dishes, we wring it out, we go away, we come back in a couple hours, and like our beautiful sponge has just gotten nasty. Well, it's the same with our muscles. So when you're getting a massage, the twisting and turning and kneading and things that the therapist is doing to the muscles are actually stimulating, they're increasing the local blood flow, the local circulation. And so that's like adding water back into the sponge. And additionally, something that's really good about a massage is what I call the, it's called the afterburn effect. Like when you exercise and you exercise really, hard, and then you stop, you continue burning calories. Well, it's the same, like if you have your kid on a swing and you give him one push and you walk away, not much is gonna happen. But if you get a really good momentum going and you're really pushing him and then you walk away, that kid's gonna be, there for a while. And it's the same with our bodies with massage. So that the relaxation response, the increased circulation and, kind of flushing out of the stress hormones and flushing in of, new blood in our tissues is gonna happen even after the massage has stopped. So what is chair massage anyway? Most of you probably are already familiar with it. But chair massage is, there's a variety of different kinds of chairs, but they all basically, have the same thing. There's a face cradle where you can put your head and you lean forward, and the therapist can work on the areas where most people experience stress in the workplace. So it's going to be, where tension builds up in the neck, in the shoulders, in the upper, in the lower back, in the arms, and in the hands. Some companies, I don't know if there's anyone from Google here. No? Yeah, because you guys, they have it already. Some companies have, really nice massage rooms. They have, forget chair massage, they have the whole thing with the table and the oils and the Buddha and the incense, and that's great. However, most companies don't have that. Here's Southern Wine and Spirits. These are some Healing Hands therapists there. We used a conference room. This is just a regular conference room. We turned the lights down. We turned them up for the picture, but we had turned them down. And there's actually a whole bunch of awards, community service awards they got on the wall. But you can see it's, it's relaxing, it's quiet. We actually have some music going. And so you don't need a special place. You don't need, a lot of equipment. The company would come in and bring that. So here are a couple more frequently asked questions about chair massage. First of all, people always want to know, does chair massage require that the employee get undressed? And the answer is no. We're very cognizant of the fact that these employees have to go back to work the next day, or the next day, that's wishful thinking. You have to go back to work like in the next 5 or 10 minutes after their massage. And so, it's just done through the clothing. And you can also see in this picture that there is a face cradle. It's a disposable face cradle. So after the massage, the therapist is going to remove the face cradle, put a new one, wipe down the chair, sanitize his or her hands before the next client arrives. Another question people have is, will oil be used? And again, the answer is no, because we know that you have to go back to work. There's sometimes a lightly scented lotion can be used on the hands, but if you don't want that, just let the therapist know. Another question is, will my hair get messed up? And no, the answer is no. Sometimes a massage therapist will have a tool like this, which will go on the head and feels really good, kind of a scalp massage right at the end. But if you don't want that, just let them know. And of course, who benefits from chair massage? Oof. The cool thing about this is that it's not just the person getting the massage who benefits from the massage. Excuse me. If people in the office, I don't know, they're too busy that day, or they don't feel like getting a massage, I don't know why, they actually benefit, because when their coworkers who did get a massage come back, they're in a very good mood, they're relaxed, they're more pleasant to be around, so really everybody benefits. So the key question, of course, is how much does it cost? Well, I can't speak for any company but my own, but I can tell you that in the industry, typically chair massage ranges from about $80 to $90 per therapist per hour. Most companies, if you're going to be doing it on a regular basis, or if you have a really big event with, there's going to be a lot of people, you can actually negotiate a better rate. And just as a rule of thumb, chair massages can range from anywhere from 5 minutes to 25 minutes, but most companies usually do it at about 10 minutes. And so a good rule of thumb, if you're calculating how many people you need for an event or how much it's going to cost you, you can usually do 5 10-minute chair massages in an hour. And the reason that that's only 50 minutes is that, keep in mind, in between each session, as I mentioned before, they change out the face cradle, they sanitize the hands, wipe down the chair, the employees switch out. So it's a good rule of thumb. So, if you have, 15 employees that want the chair massage, in their 10-minute sessions, you're probably going to look at about 3 hours. Reasons for chair massage. You can boost employee morale. I mean, it's a great way to say thank you, and oftentimes it's cheaper than catering a nice lunch. Also, you can show appreciation before or after a special event. Is anyone here a CPA? Okay, so during tax season or some busy time, which actually brings me to the next one, dealing with a crisis or crunch time, you're a law firm and you have a huge case, and so people are burning the midnight oil, you can bring in chair massage. Also, you can use it as part of an ongoing wellness program. So if your company already has a wellness program, maybe they have, a gym on site or off site, yoga classes, something like that, it's very easy to add chair massage. But, what if you're an employee that, a company that doesn't have a big budget, or maybe you guys are going through a hard time, but you still want to motivate your employees, or, maybe you're not a Google, that has, millions and millions of dollars to spend on their employees. Well, chair massage, you can have a self-pay option. And the way it works is this. So you're gonna invite the therapist to come in on a certain day, for a certain time period, and you can let your employees know chair massage will be available on this day at this time in this room. And then employees can choose to come and get one if they would like. Now, you're still gonna be the hero, because you're still letting people and encouraging people to take time out of their busy day to go get a massage, but then it doesn't cost you a dime. And you're still going to be getting all the great benefits, happier, more productive employees, but it's not going to be money out of your pocket. And a good rule of thumb, just if people ask, again, I can't speak for any company but my own, but usually for a chair massage, it's around, for bigger cities, it's around $7 per 5-minute increment. So like a 10-minute chair massage would be like $14, 15-minute chair massage, $21. In some smaller cities, they do it for $1 a minute, so it's an easy way to calculate. However, there's another option, and for a company that's, maybe a medium to small size company that's cash strapped, I think this is like the best thing since sliced bread. I just call it the hybrid approach. And I have a company, a mortgage company here in Miami that's been doing this for the last 3 years, every other Thursday for the last 3 years. So what they do is this. The massage therapist comes, conveniently enough, on payday. And each time the company chooses a certain number of, they call them lucky winners, to receive chair massage. So each week, X number of people are going to be receiving chair massage. However, the therapist then stays afterwards for an additional period of time. So if you really want a massage, but you didn't win this week, you didn't get a free one, that's okay. You can choose to get one, and just pay for it out of your own pocket. And so just to give you an example, if you were to do this once a month for 10 employees, say an average of $85 an hour, so that's $170. $170 once a month, and then, to be able to have the option of having your employees pay for it themselves if they didn't win, I mean, it's a great thing. And then there's the whole coolness factor of being able to say that, oh yeah, I work for a company that offers massage. But does it actually work? It's a legitimate question. Can a simple chair massage really lower stress, improve morale, and promote wellness? Well, in 2003, a research study was done, and it was called the Effect of Chair Massage on the Stress Perception of Hospital Bedside Nurses. So what they did, there were 82, 86 nurses that participated in this study, and there was the control group that was given a break. They could go outside and have coffee or whatever, just relax. And there was a group that received chair massage, and they received it for 10 minutes. And afterwards, they tested both groups cognitively. And by and large, every single time, the group that had the chair massage actually was much less stressed, solved problems faster, and just had better cognition overall. There was another study by the International Journal of Neuroscience, and that indicated the exact same thing. They did a 15-minute chair massage, and they found the exact same thing. There was another recent study in American Psychologist magazine, and it gave one group of workers a 15-minute rest, another 15 minutes of massage. The group that received the massages, they tested them a lot on specifically mathematical questions, and they timed them as far as solving the problems. And the group that received the chair massages and were more relaxed were able to focus better, and they were able to solve the math problems much faster than the control group. HR Magazine states that employees who receive massage at work as part of a corporate wellness program feel less stressed, are more productive on the job, and are less likely to take unplanned time off of work. Employee Benefit News, which many of you probably subscribe to, noted that even the employees who choose not to participate, as I kind of alluded to earlier, they chose not to participate in the massage program, they still reported that everybody else was so much more pleasant, it actually made their job a lot better. Newsweek magazine reported that at Reebok and Boeing, chair massage resulted in lowered back strain, headaches, and fatigue since the companies started the program. And also, there's a Maryland-based mutual fund firm called the Calvert Group, and they have been doing bi-weekly chair massages for the last 2 decades. And I did not know this about mutual fund groups, but evidently the turnover rate in the industry is very high. It's 20% annually. And in the Calvert Group, because, well, I'm sure there's other factors, but largely because of the chair massage and that the employees are so much less stressed, their turnover rate is only 5%. So to recap, less stress leaves you feeling calmer and more focused. A happier, healthier, smarter workforce leads to increased performance and job satisfaction. Lower employee turnover means longevity with the company. And all of this leads to any employer's dream. More money. So, Health Canada, this is a Canadian equivalent of the US Department of Health. And unfortunately, the USDH did not, I could not find a study that was done in the United States regarding this, but I did in Canada, and it's close, so I'll share it with you. They reported that for each dollar invested in wellness initiatives, the ROI was actually $3.40, and that was in the form of reduced absenteeism and turnover, productivity gains, and decreased medical claims. So, whatever your workplace poison, whether it's stress, whether it's being too sedentary, poor posture at your desk, or I'm actually going to segue for just a moment because this this blew my mind. The average human head weighs about 12 pounds, give or take. So, normal posture, okay, fine. If your head is forward just 2 inches, that is an additional 32 pounds of load that your shoulders and neck are supporting. If it's another 1 more inch, if it's 3 inches, that's 42 pounds. So think about that the next time you're on your smartphone. But I digress. You could be here in a chair, relaxing. Now, some employers have a question and they want to know, is it going to make my employees drowsy? Am I going to invest in chair massage, get an employee that's like in la la land the rest of the day? And the answer is an unequivocal no. Now, it's true that, 5 to 10 minutes after the massage, there's kind of that, factor where you're just like, oh, I feel like I'm floating, oh, I don't want to go back to work. And then what happens is that the body's endorphins kick in, the serotonin kicks in, and you're actually more focused and, ready to go. So as you can tell, massage is actually greater than coffee. So at the beginning of this talk, I promised to leave you guys with 3 action items that you can implement as soon as you get back to your home and to your companies for chair massage. So here's the first one. First one, I want you guys to identify which departments in your company are under the most stress or have the most, injuries or sickness or turnover, whatever the case may be. And that might vary annually, or it might vary project to project. But that's where you want to start, and that's probably where you want your main focus to be. So once you've determined that, evaluate which massage program works best for your company based on your budget, based on your needs. Do you want to, and also the frequency, is this something that you want to have happen on a weekly basis, and pay for? And incidentally, I didn't mention this earlier, if you have 100 employees, pretty much, even if you offer it as a free, the company is paying for it, it has been my experience doing this for multiple years that 60 to 70% typically participate. You'll never get 100% participation, even if it's free. I don't know why, people are weird. But so that can kind of help you also as you're budgeting. But so are you going to do this program monthly? Are you going to do it weekly, bi-weekly? Are you going to have the employees pay? Is it going to be hybrid? So you can determine that. And then finally, hire a reputable company that specializes in chair massage. And the reason why this is important is that there's a world of difference between, incense candles and, a good, massage, a Swedish massage on the table. That's great. But chair massage is a whole other thing, and it's just a whole other environment, a whole other working environment. So you want to make sure that you have a company that knows what they're doing. And for those of you, if anyone has any questions about that and lives in different parts of the country, you can speak to me afterwards and I can point you in the right direction. So I have a sign-up sheet over here, and if you wanted to leave your email address, basically I'll be sending you a few things. One of which is what I use. It's a client waiver form, and I'm sure if you're working with a company that specializes in chair massage, they'll have something similar, but this could be a good reference for you. So basically at the top is the waiver, and then when they're signing up for their time, then they're also signing the waiver. Additionally, I'll send you what you guys have on your chairs, the handout. Yeah, believe it or not, this is a great graphic, but they were all like the top row, and I was like, that's so boring. Nobody's ever going to look at it. So I kind of superimposed The Office on there. But these are some great computer and desk stretches, and you guys have them in your handouts, but I can email you digital copies that you can blast out to everyone if you'd like. And then finally, you'll also get this, which is the workplace ergonomics, which is also very useful, and that's on the back side of your handout. So again, you can be a workplace hero. Yes. With chair massage. Management is going to love you because you're able to find a way a pleasant way. Working out sometimes is, that the end result is good, but it's not always pleasant. So massage is a pleasant way to receive great benefits, great ROI in terms of, the absenteeism going down, hospitalization costs going down, less mistakes on the job because of stress, better productivity. Also, as I mentioned, the employees are going to love you because, they're getting a massage at work. And then there's kind of that coolness factor that, I work at a company that has chair massage, and it has, it's just such a wonderful benefit for the employees. So I love this quote from Entrepreneur Magazine. I think it's really true, that wellness programs are not a luxury. They're an asset to your company's bottom line. So If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them after the talk, and I will leave you with this parting thought. It is absolutely true. I didn't believe it, I wrote it out, it reads backwards and forwards. So on that happy note, thank you all so much for your attention, I really appreciate it, and I'll be up front later if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.